Hey everyone, so excited to be with you. Day 20, we're almost done with this journey. I hope that the Lord has just poured into you a love for the Word, a love for just doing this. And even though we're not in the same room, I hope there's been maybe some just a love for one another as we've kind of studied through this together, and just spent a couple of minutes each morning to just say, Lord, what do you want to say to us? So as we get near the end, I'm going to read verses 24 through 27 of Matthew chapter 7 as we get to some of the last words of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. So let me read those to you today, and then we'll talk about it for a brief second. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain fell, the rivers rose, the winds blew and pounded that house, yet it didn't collapse because its foundation was on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and doesn't act on them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain fell, the rivers rose, the winds blew and pounded that house, and it collapsed. It collapsed with a great crash. This is one of my favorite teachings of Jesus, and wasn't until recently, a few years ago, that I noticed something, and I have no doubt that the many men and women of God who taught me the scriptures growing up in Sunday school, as youth leaders, as pastors, as all these men in my life, that I am sure that they taught me this, and I just missed it. Okay, so I'm not saying anything towards them, but one of the things that I noticed is, did you notice what Jesus said? The wise and the foolish person, it's not just the foundation that they built on. They both heard the same message. The wise man hears, and so does the foolish man. The difference is who follows through with the teachings of Jesus. Who follows through with it? Who actually acts on them? So here we are at the end of Jesus' words in the Sermon on the Mount. And the question for you and I today is, are we going to act on them? Are we actually going to put into practice the things, even the tough things that Jesus has said to us in these verses? Are we going to put those into practice? Because that is the difference between a solid rock foundation and a mushy sand foundation. It is putting them into practice that allows when the wind blows. Because listen, that wind, the blow is coming. The wind is coming, the rain is coming, the floods are coming, whatever. That's going to happen in life. It's a given. Sorry, it's just a given. I know, Chipper, good news for us this morning. But the question for us is, how are we going to respond? When that happens, are we going to find that our life has been built on the way and the teachings of Jesus? Or are we going to find that our life has been built on listening to a lot of teachings of Jesus, but really just still doing whatever we want to do? Just as I knew another friend that would say this, you can sit in a garage all day long, but it doesn't make you a car. And the challenge for us is you can sit in church all day long, but it doesn't necessarily always make you a Christian. And so I think, not to be coming so forcefully this morning, but I think this is a good and encouraging and yet also a cautious word to us to say, as we near the end of 21 days, we're on day 20, as we come to the end of this, are we resolved to put into practice the things that Jesus has taught us over the last few weeks? I pray that you are. And I'm not saying perfection, all right? Man, I've read the Sermon on the Mount hundreds of times, and I'm still getting the Lord kind of convicting me and showing me, oh, see, John, we've got some things we still got to work on, and I love that. I don't always love it in the moment, but I love that Jesus hasn't abandoned, he hadn't given up on me. Man, when I screw up, a lot. When I screw up, he still is like, no, okay, we can work with that. Come on, my grace is sufficient. My grace is sufficient. I still love you. Come on, we're going to do this. We're going to do this because I'm doing this with you. And we get to do life with Jesus. It's a great gift. It's an unbelievable gift. So let's do that together. Let's not just hear the teachings of Jesus. Let's actually put them into practice. I love you guys. I'm praying for you, and I love to hear what God has taught you over the last few weeks. See you soon.